Tonight we're going to move through a special practice. It's a Yin Yoga class. So come onto your back, and as you get down onto your back, feet flat on the mat, and then spread your feet out about the width of your yoga mat, and then let your knees knock in towards each other, almost like a teepee shape. And then go ahead and place one hand on top of your belly, and the other hand right on top of your chest. And close the eyes. And just allow your awareness to start to drift inward, drift inside. As you imagine that you're now just kind of slipping through this doorway into this world of Yin Yoga now. And if you're unfamiliar with this practice of Yin, it's the complete opposite to the way that we live our lives, the complete opposite to the really strong physical power yoga practices that so many of us enjoy. And in Yin Yoga, we really focus on less poses, and we hold those poses for a lot longer. So you could say that you're looking for quality over quantity. I think one of the best things that we could do here at the beginning is really to just give ourselves permission to have this experience, and permission to move through this practice where, we can slow down and we can appreciate that. There's so many demands within our lives, and so this is just an opportunity for you to give back to yourself. The idea being that the more that you give to yourself, then the more that you'll be able to give and offer to others. And so as you give yourself permission right now, just feel your muscles relaxing. But also feel your brain and your mind relaxing. And then just create this environment where serenity, calmness, peace can just start to pervade through your whole entire body and being. And at the same time, just find that gentle movement of air coming in and out through your nose in a way that's not forced or pushed, just nice and easy. And then just keeping that breath ebbing and flowing in and out through the nose, go ahead and grab your shins and squeeze both knees into your belly for a moment. Good. Now, keeping your right knee hugged in, extend your left leg forward along the mat. And then bring your right foot to your inner left thigh. So let your right knee splay out towards the right into what we call reclining tree pose. So outer knee just draws down towards the ground. And then try bringing your arms to what we call cactus arms. So just kind of bring your arms up over your head. Little bend in the elbows, and just a nice chest and heart opener. And then And we'll be holding these poses for about 3 minutes each. And imagine that the longer you hold the pose, the deeper that you move into the release and into the relaxation. Allowing your fascia and allowing the connective tissues, the subtle tissues of the body, through those longer durations, to just start to open up. If at any point within these longer holds you notice the mind starting to wander, or maybe the mind starting to become restless, just nice and easily bring that mind back to that movement of the breath. And every time you bring that mind back to that breath, that's an act of mindfulness. Anytime you're truly focused in on something, it's important to allow that focus to pull you deeper and deeper into the experience, so you're not hanging out superficially on the surface of things. That you're truly exploring the very depth of the pose, of the sensations, and of the experience. From here, bring your right hand underneath your right knee and then guide your right knee all the way back up to center. And then grab your right shin, squeeze your right knee, right thigh deep into the belly. And before we do the same thing on the other side, just circle your right thigh around a few times, one direction, a few times the other way. Good, and then go ahead and hug your left knee in, extend your right leg out, and then we'll come into that reclining tree pose on the other side. So left foot, inner right thigh, right leg, let that left knee open to the left. Enjoy that external rotation through the left hip. And if it feels good, you can bring the arms back to cactus variation, creating more space within that chest cavity. last few breaths there. Nice, you guys. From here, left hand to the outer left knee. As you're ready, guide your left knee back to center. And then circle that left thigh around in that left hip. And after those yin holds, sometimes really nice to just follow up with a movement like this to just kind of move the energy, move the prana, move the chi around. Grab the shins, hug and squeeze the knees, the thighs back into the belly. And then just start gently rocking forward, backward, and go ahead and rock yourself all the way up to seated. From seated, come into a tabletop pose. So roll over onto your knees. And then step your feet back to plank pose, upper push-up. And then just take one inhale and plank. And then lower slowly all the way down onto the ground. This next movement's for the inner chest and the inner shoulder. So what you're going to do is you're going to extend your right arm out towards the right on the floor. You're going to keep your right chest down there on the ground, and then you're going to start to roll over. So you want to take your left foot and bring it all the way behind that right leg, so the left sole of that foot's flat on the ground. And then just keep your right ear on the ground. So you're gazing over towards the left. You're just going to stretch that right chest and that right shoulder. Now, for some people, it feels good to take that left hand and reach it around behind the back. And you can even kind of slide and finagle the fingertips underneath the body there. And at the same time, that right chest stretches. The inner left chest opens as well. And, you know, feel free to search around until you get that right spot for you. And of course, as these subtle tissues start to open up, ultimately this improves flexibility, suppleness, mobility. These things that really are associated with the fountain of youth, helping us age with grace. And on a more subtle level, even opening up what the yogis call the nadis, or in Chinese medicine, what they call the meridians. Those subtle channels of energy allowing the intelligence of life force to move through, bringing us back to our optimal state of health and wellness. You get into the pose, you get into the shape, and then you notice the quality of the sensation that you're feeling. Notice where that sensation is at. And then see if you can hone your mind into that. You know, like you're just breathing right into what you're feeling. last couple breaths there. Nice, you guys. Go ahead and start to ease out of that. And then we'll come in into the other side. So when you're ready, extend your left arm out towards the left. Start to roll over onto your left and let your right foot just come behind that left leg. Right foot flat, right knee sticks up towards the ceiling. Try and find that spot where your inner left chest and your inner left shoulder comes together. In Yin Yoga, we often target the hips, the pelvis, the spine. This is a nice little kind of spice into the mix, including the chest and shoulder. Nice, you guys. Go ahead and ease your way out of that one. Just come all the way back onto your belly, onto your chest. And then from here, we'll come into a Sphinx pose to start. So go ahead and slide your forearms forward, elbows right underneath the shoulders, and forearms parallel to each other like railroad tracks. Make sure that your elbows are underneath the shoulders there. And then just take a few moments to circle the head around. Should feel really good in the neck. Or you can just let it sway side to side. Just kind of attune to intuition. Great word for yoga means to instruct from within. And ultimately, the greatest teacher that ever existed is that teacher that resides inside of you. And this practice is just here to help you deepen relationship to that inner teacher. Good. Now we're going to come into seal pose. So spread the hands out pretty wide and then turn your fingertips out. So this one is actually a back bend. It's a little bit more of an active yin pose. So fingers out, hands down, and you're going to hold that one for about 3 minutes. So it's a yin backward bend. At the same time that you open up through your chest and your heart, getting into some of those connective tissues around your spinal column. A gentle press through the hands. Allowing that heart to draw upward. And as much as possible to allow the shoulders to draw back and down so your neck remains relaxed. And on some level in a pose like this, you're exerting what we call positive stress on the spine. A good type of stress that helps to spark the energy of regeneration within the cells and the molecules of that spinal tissue. And just keep coming back to that sensation that arises. And as much as possible, not judging it, not criticizing it, not wishing that it was something different than what it is. But just witnessing it. Last few breaths there. Okay, one last inhale, spread a little wider through the chest, and then lower slow your forehead all the way down, and just find a relaxing position there. And just let the after effects of that previous pose just wash through you and integrate into you. Good, you guys. Go ahead and bring your hands back by your ribs nice and easily. Press up to table and then go all the way back to child's pose. So big toes together. Knees open out as wide as feels right. Forehead on the floor, maybe a block, a pillow. As you complement that backward bend now with a nice forward bend. And then see where it feels most comfortable to have your arms placed. Sometimes it feels good in a longer child's pose to bring the arms back behind you, a little softer on the shoulders. Or you can bend the elbows and bring the hands closer in towards you. And then for this pose, we're going to incorporate a little affirmation into the pose. The affirmation is very simple. Each inhale, see if you can silently say let. And each exhale, silently repeat, go. Inhale, let. And exhale, go. Sometimes the most powerful thing that we can do in yoga and even in life is to let go, to stop trying so hard, to stop gripping so much. And this is an affirmation that helps to reinforce the power of surrender, of detachment. Go ahead and give your forehead a little gentle rock, side to side. Just massaging the front side of that brain. Hitting that little trigger point the yogis call Stapani Marma. And again, as much as possible, just switching that brain and that thinking mind off. Coming back into that feeling space. From here, we'll come back up to tabletop pose, all fours position. Shoulders above the wrist, knees beneath the hips, and then cat and cow. On the inhale, draw the heart forward, let your belly drop. And then exhale, round through every vertebra of your spine. And then try several more of those on your own, maybe for about a minute or so. Should feel really good, and might want to even try it with the eyes closed so you're not distracted by anything going on around you. And you can become that much more aware of all the things that are happening within. Last couple cycles of those. Good, you guys. Come back to a neutral spine, so neutral table. Slide your hands forward about maybe 2 or so inches, and then tuck the toes underneath the feet. Lift the hips all the way up into a downward facing dog. And then from downward dog, float your right leg up to the sky on an inhale. And then swing your right foot forward to the top of the mat on the exhale. Relax your left knee down onto the floor. And if you want to put padding underneath that left knee, we're going to be here for a little bit. You can double up your yoga mat, slide that underneath the knee. So just make sure that you're comfortable there. And this we call the low lunge. So we're just going to hold this. And feel free to just kind of keep the hands down on the ground. You can let your head just relax. Maybe keep the eyes closed, the awareness inward. And if you're like me, you'll notice over time, usually after about a minute or a minute and a half, you'll start to feel some sensation in that left hip flexor, the front of that left eye. And then eventually you'll feel it just stretching more and more and more. It's a long, slow, sustained hold. Anytime you feel that mind starting to grip or starting to slip, you can come back to that affirmation. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Last couple breaths there. Awesome, you guys. From here, we'll come into half split. So pull your hips back, straighten your right knee, right leg, balancing on your right heel, right toe straight up. And we're just here for a couple moments. Just feel your balance, get your hands set. And then let's pulse. On the inhale, bend your front right knee. Right foot flat on the floor, low lunge. And then back to half split. On the exhale, pull your hips back. Good, a few more like that. Inhale to bend. And exhale, rock the hips back. Inhale, you bend. And exhale, straighten. One more time. Inhale, bend. And exhale, straighten. Good. Come back to low lunge. Tuck the left toes underneath. Lift the left knee off the floor. And then downward facing dog. Bring the right foot back. And then walk your dog, just alternating one heel down towards the floor at a time. Stretch out the backs of your legs, the backs of the feet. And then left leg floats up into the air. On the inhale, three-leg dog. And then swing that left foot all the way up, top of the mat. Relax the right knee down onto the ground. Feel free to put padding underneath that knee. And then low lunge on the other side. 3 minutes here. Now, sometimes in Yin Yoga practice, when you're in the middle of it, doesn't seem like there's a lot going on or much happening, but chances are tonight you're going to sleep extra deep and extra well. And then for the next couple of days, your body's just going to feel more open, more light, more energetic, more balanced. And so you just trust the process if you're new. And those of you that have done this many times before, that's why you're here tonight. You know how healing the practice is. And at some point, we reach a level within our lives that we understand that health and wellness is meant to be holistic. And that just as important as it is to take care of this physical body, to take care of these deeper levels, or what the yogis call the koshas, that constitute who we are. You could have the fittest body on the planet, but if you don't have peace of mind, none of it matters. So continue to allow the waves of your mind to settle and to still. And just like a really still lake in nature where you can see clear to the bottom, and you can see all the beauty reflected around it, it's the same thing within our minds. Good, you guys. That's it for that one. Half splits, nice and easy. Pull your hips back. Draw that front leg towards straight. And then we'll pulse. Inhale, bend the front knee. Nice and slow. And exhale, draw the hips back. Inhale, left foot flat. And exhale, draw your hips back. 2 more. Inhale, let that breath lead the movement. And exhale, draw back. Last one. Inhale forward like you have all the time in the world. And exhale, bring it back. Good. Left knee right above that front left heel again. Tuck the right toes underneath. Lift that right knee off the ground. And then back to down dog one more time. Step the left foot back. Walk your dog out a few times. And then just pressing down gently through your palms, allowing your hips to slope upward. Take one last inhale. Just deepen into that stretch. Relax the knees down onto the floor, and then go ahead and crawl your knees forward towards the top of your yoga mat. Cross the feet behind you. Release onto the sit bones. And then from here, we're just going to bend the left knee. So the left knee opens towards the left, and then see if you can turn your left knee forward towards the front. Grab your right ankle, and then lift your right foot up and cross it over top your left knee, left eye. Good. Now take your right fingertips, bring them onto the floor behind your tailbone, And then this is the variation we're going to go with. So you're going to take your left arm and you're just going to wrap it around your right leg. So it's a little bit of a softer variation than putting the elbow on the outer thigh. And then just nice and easy, start to turn your belly towards that inner right thigh. Maybe close the eyes, especially in a practice like this. You know, the more that you can come back inside, the better. Just a gentle massage for the spine, for the organs in the belly, and activating what we call samana vayu, the inward flow of prana, vitality. Good. From here, turn your gaze forward all the way towards the front and let the rest of the spine start to uncoil nice and slow. And then lean forward. So come onto your hands and then wrap your legs right on top of each other as snug as you can. Keep the feet spread out. Start crawling your hands back in and then see if you can sit either onto a block or all the way down between your feet to what we call cow pose, Gomukhasana. For some of you, it's going to feel like heaven. Others of you, it's going to feel like hell. Good. Hands grab the inner arches of the feet, and then you're just going to start leaning down to your own degree. Some of you can even bring your chin right on top of your knee there. So find your place. And see if you can just summon up the patience that truly is a virtue in a practice like this. Because the longer you hold, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the deeper you heal. And the deeper you heal, the better you're going to feel. And feeling good is priceless. There's no greater gift than feeling really good. Almost there. Last couple breaths. Good, you guys. Take your time. Go ahead and ease your way back up. Bring your hands onto the floor and then extend your legs out in front of you into what we call Dandasana, so the stat pose. And then for a moment, go ahead and rebend the knees. So feet flat on the floor. Shift your hands back a little bit and then let your knees windshield wiper side to side, and that'll be kind of our counter movement to that deep hip stretching. So just circulate some of that blood through. Good, and then we'll come into the same thing other side. So you'll bend that right knee comes forward, grab your left ankle, lift that left foot up, cross it over top the right, and then left hand on the floor behind you. Take your right arm and then cradle around that left arm, left leg. And then just nice and easy, you can pull your belly towards that inner left thigh. The flexibility that you get in your spine from this pose also produce flexibility inside of your mind. The kind of mind that can see things from different perspectives and vantage points, and then discern what's the best path to take, what's the best choice to make, so that we can continue to walk down the path of least resistance, least drama. Go ahead and turn the gaze forward. Start to uncoil out of the twist. And then lean forward. Hands in front of you as you get that left leg snug on top of that right leg. And then go ahead and draw the hips back, either onto a block, a bolster, the floor, hands to the inner arches of the feet. As we get deep into those IT bands. On the inhale, chest lifts up. And exhale, start to fold in. So find your edge, find your wall, your boundary of sensation. And then see if you can very mindfully just kind of lean into that wall. Not so that it's so intense that, you got to exit out early, but just enough where you can feel just a little bit of that intensity. And again, if it works for you and you need to come back to that affirmation, inhale, let, exhale, go. Always a great tool. Ultimately, the things that we think are the things that we become. And so we can use these affirmations or prayers or mantras and the power of our mind to create and manifest our own destiny. Nice, you guys. You made it through that. Ease your way all the way up. Bring your hands onto the floor behind you. Uncross those legs. Feet flat on the floor. As they say, happy hips equals a happy life. Let those knees as windshield wipers side to side. Those hips are going to be happy for a good 2 or 3 days at least. That's a really good one for sciatica too. If you know anybody that suffers from sciatica issues, have them do that. That'll help a lot. Good. Crawl the hands in. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. One more seated pose. Flex the feet. Reach the arms all the way up. Take an inhale. Grow long. Get tall. And then exhale. Good old seated forward bend. Paschimottanasana. Each inhale, entice your heart forward. And each exhale, let the chest sink downward. And that might be very, very subtle. Now from here, start to crawl your way slowly all the way back up. And then go ahead and recline all the way down onto your back. Once you get down onto the back, grab the shins, squeeze the knees, the thighs into the belly, and then spread the arms out or bring them back to cactus, and then let the knees fall gently over to the right into a double knee spinal twist. Just feel any last remnants of tension in your lower back completely release. Both knees back up to middle on an inhale. Let the knees fall gently all the way to the other side on the exhale. Nice, everybody. Both knees all the way back up to neutral. Grab the shins, squeeze the knees in one more time. And then from here, just take a nice big inhale. Curl the forehead up to your knees. Give everything a big squeeze. And then exhale, Shavasana. Release, relax all the way down onto your back into the ultimate Yin Yoga pose. Just setting yourself up for comfort. Allowing the breath to still, allowing the body to still, allowing the mind to still. It's a great quote by the teacher Ram Dass that says, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear." For these last few minutes, just see how deep you can dissolve into that stillness and silence. Shavasana. everybody from here real slowly. And gradually just start to bring your awareness back into the room, back into your body, back into that easy, gentle rhythm of the breath, of the heart. Coming back to where we started, place one hand on top of your chest, the other hand on top of your belly, just as a gesture to give gratitude to this body. It's like the vehicle driving your soul through life. And by taking care of this body, it'll also take care of you. And then your soul can fulfill whatever it is that it came here to do. In yoga, we call that dharma. And the more that you walk that path of dharma, the more joy, the more happiness, the more vitality that you'll experience. And the more that you walk away from that path of dharma, the more suffering that you'll create for yourself. Go ahead and reach the arms all the way up over your head towards the back. Interlacing the fingers, turn the palms inside out. And as you stretch back to the arms, stretch the feet, the toes forward, and enjoy a nice, good, full body stretch. Reach your hands forward, grab your shins, squeeze your knees into the belly, and then we'll roll over onto the left side. The left side is correlated to the yin channel. Just take a few breaths there, rolling onto the left. And then slowly press yourself all the way up to a last, final cross-legged seated position where we'll seal the practice. So both hands up to prayer right in front of your heart. Sit up nice and tall. Slightly bow the forehead down. And then we'll seal the practice with one last final Om. Take a nice big deep inhale through the nose. Much health, much wealth, much love to you. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Namaste.